Hi, welcome back to my channel. I got a request to do a tutorial about the rosettes that I've been using on my loaded circles. And so I thought I would go ahead and do that for you. It's a bit of a process. I love this die. It's KS Craft Diamond Rosette. And I got it off Amazon. However, the thing is that it's very sharp. So whenever I do it just straight through, it cuts so much that each individual fold actually cuts apart. So what I've done to work around that is to use it actually as embossing, and then I just trim here and here so I can start my folding. So the embossing makes it possible to see where the lines are, to do my cutting, and then to do my folding. So here we go. So we have our sandwich here, standard platform, cutting pad, die. And this I'm using to create an impression, an embossed impression, so I know where to cut. But this also makes it so that any die that you have, you can turn into an embossed image. So it won't cut it completely. It'll just make it really pretty and embossed. Oops, so we got our paper, die, then paper, then silicone, then put this over the top. I know I have some sticking out here, but it's fine because I'm actually gonna trim them down a little bit shorter. I need more than one will give me, but not a complete two. And let's give it one more pass. Seems to work better if I do two passes without washi tape. I think the washi tape just doesn't play well with the silicone pad. So let's see what we get here. This rosette is gorgeous, but it is, I'm gonna say, a little bit of work. So yes, we do have it perfectly so that we can trim it and fold it. Do some more trimming. Fit that line into the little groove. Perfect. Hang on to our scraps. Now, I am going to want this to be 3 inches. So right now it's sitting at, half of it is at 2 3/4 inches, which would make it 5 1/2. And we don't want that. So what I do want to do is make it into 1 1/2 on each side so that when you put the circle together, it's going to make the size that we need, which is 3. So we're going to cut it and trim it off at 1 1/2. I have had this trimmer forever. I can't give up on it or use any other new trimmer because I just love it so much. So here we go at, let's do 1 3/4. Just a little bit more. Gives us a little more to work with. And so then we'll trim this one too at about 1 3/4. Make sure they're the same. Yep, got them the same. So now we'll move our trimmer and we'll start folding. It's kind of the hardest part with this die because I like to use really heavy cardstock. I believe this is over 110. I'm going to say this is about, let's see, 130 maybe. Keep your scissors handy for trimming. I have a little tiny piece that I have to get off here. So first we're going to fold it And what you want, these little valleys on here, you're going to want those to be the ones that stick up. Because once you trim it, or once you fold it, these are going to actually kind of come down into a little point. You're going to have to use your fingernails to do that. So that's what you're going to want, is going to look like that. But first, we're just going to fold it back and forth. It's important when you make rosettes or anything that you're really doing a lot of folding with to really make sure that it is nice and tight. Sometimes you can I use my bone folder to burnish it, make it just a little bit better. So I've got my back and forth going. And see you in a minute. So I have both of my pieces folded, and I haven't trimmed anything off of each of them because I don't quite know how much I'm going to need of each. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold the diamonds in this. Does really help to have fingernails. I don't know how I'd do this if I didn't. My nail lady kept saying, don't use your nails as tools. Oh, gosh, why did God put them there then? I love using my nails as tools. All right, I have both of them folded. And what I'm going to need to do now is figure out how I can get them together so that they are in order. So I know I'm going to trim off this little one here. And I'm going to hot glue it behind this one so that it works. I don't use hot glue too often. I have a fear of being burned. So I just use it as sparingly as I can, and only when I know that things have to be done with the glue. Like rosettes, definitely hot glue. So put that just on there. Ow, ow. I have a multi-temp gun, so it doesn't get as hot as the other ones. Still, not so much fun. Make sure that when you do that, that it can still fold, because you don't want it to be too stiff when you're going to be swirling your rose. So then, let's see. I kind of just look and see how, yeah, it looks like it's going to fold up just fine. Now, the next trick is with the glue gun, and I don't remember who I saw online doing this, but it's the best help ever. And if I find it, when I find it, I will go ahead and show you all, or let you guys know who I found that from. So what I'm gonna do first is match these up. Looks like I think I'm gonna take this one off here. See if that'll fit behind there. Yes. Cut off this little corner. Glue them together. I don't use a lot of hot glue because that's what makes it really stiff, especially with this paper that is like so thick. I love using it. It really holds up when I'm making different rosettes and other things that really need to be precise and hold up a lot. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've hot glued two of the two sides together, and they're all folded. And so what I do, I just put them diamond points down, push them together. I just love that trick. And you gotta hold this one pretty hard. Your diamond tips might fall out for a second, but that's okay. put your hot glue right in the center. And I'm on my Tonic Studios, my Tim Holtz Media Matte, the glass one. I really want to get the one that goes over it so that I can use that and not have lights reflected and such in here. So this one you got to kind of hold on to until it gets hard with the glue. I'm not even sure what kind of paper this is. I get it at my favorite local store, Backroads Plum Crazy. Hi, Danya. Hi, Michelle. Just a little video shout out to you. And whenever I get a paper pack, if I have not bought through Backroads Plum Crazy, which I do a lot, then if it's come from somewhere else that they don't carry, then I take in a couple of pieces of ephemera or even some scrapbook pages, and I go in there and I just match up whatever cardstock I need. I like working with the 8.5 by 11 cardstock because I find that sometimes if I get 12 by 12s and I'm just doing things like this, there's a lot more waste, and it's also easier just to keep these as an 8.5 by 11 when I'm storing them. There we go. And if this had been stuck, I would have used my little slice spatula, but it seemed fine. I'm going to push it down here for a little bit longer. I don't know if did any of you have a slice? It was the weirdest thing. It was like you'd put an SD card in it that was loaded with different images, and then the thing was like this big, and you had to use it on glass, and you would hold it down, choose what image you wanted and how big, and you would have to hold it there like kind of lightly so that it just stayed, but with enough pressure that it didn't skip all over. So it was pretty fun for a little while. And then when you wanted to start sort of making different things and putting them in different places, it got a little limited. But I did keep my glass mat, not this one, but that glass mat. You can never have too many glass mats, especially if you're going to have friends over crafting with you. Okay, so here it is. We've got this on the back, just a little tiny piece of hot glue, some on the front. This is going to work perfectly. I'll show you how. I've used them before. You can see here, this is one from my last circle, my loaded circles. And this one, it's a little bit bigger, so I would probably use the next size up of circle dies to use for the backing. So there is my rosette, and I thank you for watching this with me, and I hope to see you soon. Like and subscribe below so that you get to see all the fun that I'm doing. And if there's anything that you would like explained more or have questions on, leave it in the comments below and I'm happy to answer it. Thanks.